Tribe of Issachar. Issachar was together with Judah in the east when they were encamped in the wilderness. And Issachar was with Zebulun. Zebulun was the brother of Issachar. Zebulun and Issachar are often associated in the Bible. And they were together. They were all the sons of Leah. Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun were all the sons of Leah. Jacob had 4 wives. He had Leah, Rachel. He had Bilhah and Zilpah. So Bilhah was a handmaiden of Rachel, Zilpah was a handmaiden of Leah, and Rachel and Leah were his 2 main wives. And Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun were the 3 of the sons of Leah. Altogether, Leah had 6 sons. Jacob begat 6 sons through Leah. There were 6 of the tribes. And we identify Issachar. It's a bit of a problem because we try and make our identifications 1 tribe, 1 country. But here and there the tribes split up. The tribes split up, and often they would split up and they would come back again. Recoalesce, one could say. In the case of Issachar, we find 2 tribes, 2 countries, where Issachar seems to have been preeminent or predominant, or at least to have been present and to have made his mark felt. Those are the tribes of Switzerland, and Finland. Switzerland is also apparently had their settlers from Gad, and traditionally many of people who are occupied with the lost 10 tribes identify Switzerland with Gad, and there's something for that. Also, we identify Gad with the Goths, and a lot of sources, medieval sources and so on, and traditions also say that the Goths settled in Switzerland. Some may also be true, but we also find certain predominance for Issachar in Switzerland. We also, in our identifications, we show how people came from different areas. There were several pathways of migration from their places of exile to the west. So the main Amos, actually the book of Amos speaks of this. So other portions of the Bible, but Amos more than the others. So Amos speaks of a portion of the Israelites, the Assyrians conquered the land of Israel, 10 tribes. They conquered the 10 tribes, land of Israel, and they took a portion of the people through using proxies, through using agents and their allies amongst the Philistines, amongst the Phoenicians, that is the people of Tyre, were sailors and merchants, and they were emissaries, they were agents of Assyria. They helped set up colonies on behalf of Assyria, and also the Edomites. And they helped take Israelite captives overseas and settle them in the west, settle them in Spain, settle them in the British Isles, settle them in France, possibly also in Scandinavia. And at that time, the climate was a bit different, and Scandinavia had more of a Mediterranean type climate. They grew grapes and things there to a very high altitude, very far to the north, whereas today they cannot do so. And so it was quite a prosperous area at that time. So also Israelite captives taken there and used to help establish colonies in that area. Another portion, probably the majority of the Israelites, were taken overland, taken away, and they were taken to the empire of Assyria. Babylon was also part of the empire of Assyria at that time, taken to the north, taken to Mesopotamia, and to the Caucasus, the region of the Caucasus, the foothills of the Caucasus, and to Media and the cities of the Medes, as the Bible tells us, and they were settled there. They were the majority of the Israelites, and in those areas, they were also used by the Assyrians. The Assyrians settled them there, and they set up farms and settlements, and they also provided manpower for the Assyrian armies. And eventually, and very quickly afterwards, the Assyrian Empire began to break up, and they too broke up and broke away from the Assyrians and asserted their independence and fought against Assyria, and the Thomas fought for Assyria, changed their alliances and so on, and eventually they were pushed to the north and went to the north of the Caucasus regions. From there they moved to the west. They moved to the areas, they moved through Germany into Scandinavia, and into France, and into the Netherlands, and across the seas to the British Isles. So they were the two main streams of migration. So we trace these streams of migration, and we find evidence amongst the migrating tribes of groups with names of Israelite tribes, or Israelite clans within the tribes. We show how groups from a certain tribes tended to coalesce, tended to congregate in different areas. So that is part of our proofs, but it's a bit complicated, and it needs a lot of explanation of following historical explanations. So we're not doing that now, just pointing it out that it's a phenomenon. We also speak about, we identify Issachar with Switzerland and with Finland. We met someone from Finland, and he, according to him, he was actually a doctor from the west of Finland, and he said that there's a strong tradition amongst the Finnish people that they descend from the tribes of Issachar, from the lost 10 tribes, especially the tribe of Issachar. But he says historically Finland was, first of all, dominated by Sweden, and after Sweden by Russia. And the domination of the Swedes was quite authoritarian. It was quite strict, even though they were not tyrannous, they were not tyrants, but they were quite overbearing, one could say, and you had to be careful what you said. And after that, the Russians were even worse. And people did not speak of being descended from the tribe of Issachar, or being descended from the 10 tribes, but a lot of customs of the Finnish people are similar to those of the Jews. And when you look at these customs, whatever the explanation is, it's almost certain that they picked up a lot of customs and a lot of traditions from Jews or from Israelites at some stage or other. And one of the heads of the clans of Issachar was known as Michael, and you have the province of Mikkeli, a major province of Finland. You also have Yair, you also had Yachmi of Issachar, and Ibsam of Issachar, and they have names similar to the Finnish provinces of Kim and Usima. And you have other names connected with Issachar that are also found amongst the Finns, amongst the Finns. And also Issachar was associated with the ability, with the ability to tell the times, to compute the calendar, having mathematical and engineering skills, and being involved in astronomy. The Finns are also in that have an inclination like that, are known for that. So that is one point concerning Finland. Also, the Switzerland is similar. Switzerland also they're known for engineering skills and astronomical abilities and interests. And in Switzerland, they produce clocks for all the world, Swiss watches. And Issachar was told, it was prophesied that Issachar would produce wise men with understanding of the times. Okay. Wise men telling Israel what to do. So literally it means people who understood they could compute the calendar, tell Israel when certain feast days would come to pass, and that was what Issachar was known for. But literally it says people with that understanding of the times, of the people were telling Israel what to do, And today that is what Swiss watches. They tell us what the time is and help us function. And they're known for it. In Switzerland, you have place names of importance such as Venonti, Pioni, Faniana, and they record the Funi. The Funi were an important group amongst the tribe of Issachar. Issachar was described by Don Abarbanel as having a Republican type of personality. He's not interested in having a king over him. The Swiss have always been Republican for most of their history. So incidentally have the Finns. So that is a point of interest. Also, he's described as being preferring to be neutral, to keep out of conflicts, but he has to defend himself. He is capable of doing so. And that is pertinent to the Swiss, who have always been neutral, but they provided proficient mercenaries, and here and there they did defend themselves quite well, and so too the Finns were very formidable warriors. They fight in fighting against the Russians and the Germans, and even though they tried to remain out of the conflict. So that is a point.